Ramen shops. Why does ramen hold such fascination for the Japanese? Oh, it's just like a movie set. You could almost forget that you're indoors. Please, don't get me wrong. I didn't come here because I gave in to my appetite. Rather, I was inspired. Pure intellectual curiosity.
Welcome. There you go, the soy sauce ramen you ordered.
Ramen! Firm wheat flour noodles in a large bowl brimming with soup, garnished with roast pork, green onions, and a variety of other ingredients. While having its origins in the noodle dishes of Chinese cuisine, ramen has been modified to suit Japanese tastes through the use of soy sauce, miso, and other flavors, and has developed in its own unique way. The invention of instant ramen in the mid-20th century caused it to spread explosively. Its popularity has reached beyond the borders of Japan and spread across the entire world. Inside the deep, rich umami is the sharp flavor of Japanese dashi. Excellent stuff.
The miso ramen you ordered.
The rich mellowness of miso. It's so different from the buttercorn ramen I had in Sapporo.
And the salt ramen you ordered.
What a refreshing broth. It feels like you'd have as much as you want. I ended up eating 3 whole bowls. Why is ramen so addictive?
Something bothering you about ramen?
Ah!
Forgive me, but as the ramen king, I cannot let that pass.
Ramen king? By any chance?
I'm honored that you've read my book. I love ramen so much that I made ramen my life and my career. I eat over 1,000 bowls of ramen every single year.
1,000?
I see. The reason why ramen so captivates the Japanese, you say?
Yes. Would you know why that is?
One key is cheapness and variety. When you get down to it, it offers a lot of variety to the general public as a food that's eaten daily. They enjoy searching for their ideal ramen.
But, as varied as it is, just a difference in soup seasoning, right?
Booth-san, I can assure you, it's much more than that. The soup varies tremendously. Don't you know? Ramen soup is actually made by diluting tare with dashi.
Yes, well, sort of.
Dashi is the basis of soup and governs its umami. There's dashi made from animal products like pork or chicken bones, dashi from marine products like dried bonito, dried sardines, and kombu, and vegetable dashi made from shiitake mushrooms and onions. By combining all of these different dashis, you can assemble a truly diverse range of variations. Additionally, what gives the soup its variety and determines the impression of its flavor is the tare. By combining the 3 basic tares of soy sauce, miso, and salt with the dashi, ramen's flavor potential is practically limitless. There are many differences in the noodles as well.
There are?
Typically, ramen noodles are made by combining wheat flour, salt, water, and an alkaline salt solution we call kansui. Depending on the basic ingredients, the ratio in which they're mixed, and how the dough ripens, the texture and taste can change in an infinite variety of ways. That's not even counting the makeup of the regional climate, or the time of year, which affects the noodle's very flavor. In short, by combining noodles and soup, the possibilities of ramen are infinite! Always full of the possibilities of new creation, continuing even now to vigorously spread. Yes, ramen is the universe itself.
Thank you, Mr. King. I think I have some understanding now of ramen's true depth. Mr. King?
I've just received information that good ramen shops have opened up in Wakanai. I have to go check it out.
Wakanai? That's over 1,000 kilometers away. Why would you go that far?
Because ramen is there. And that's everything, my man. How about it, Booth-san? Will you ride with me?
Me? Travel? With you? And that's what got me aching to do this. It was so tempting. If I wasn't such a magnificently devoted father and husband, I might have gone with him. His free lifestyle,
As a man, I must follow his example.
And so, to follow this example, we're all now on a plane flying somewhere for a bowl of ramen.
Because ramen is there. And that's everything.
What are you saying?
Come on, we'll be arriving soon to the home of Hakata Ramen.
Hakata, Fukuoka City, Fukuoka Prefecture. 1,175 kilometers west of Tokyo. The area has prospered as a port city since ancient times and specializes in culinary treasures like spicy pollock roe and matsunabe stew.
Whoa!
These are Hakata's famous yatai. A yatai is a food stall meant to be disassembled and moved. They come and open up the shop in the evening and leave after closing it down.
Wow, there are so many. What a sight to see.
Yatai were apparently a common sight in the old days, but now I've heard Hakata is the only place left with this many of them. And since it has plenty of cheap and delicious shops, it's a popular sightseeing spot. Amazing! They handle all sorts of food here. Gyoza, oden.
Even tempura and steaks!
I want nankatsu.
Hey, have you forgotten what we came here to eat? There, over there. According to the Ramen King, the ramen here was the first to inspire his passion.
Here you go.
A nice, cloudy tonkotsu soup. This is authentic Hakata ramen. This creamy tonkotsu soup, full of gelatin and with its mild umami taste, is top-notch. Well then. These thin al dente noodles pair excellently with the soup.
Its flavour is remarkably complex despite the dish's simplicity.
I finished my noodles, and apparently you can call for seconds if you finish just the noodles and not the soup. Excuse me?
Michael, don't!
Right.
But I can have seconds, can't I?
Well, it looks like Asuka likes it.
Yes, it was worth coming all this way for it.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to be Japanese to be crazy about ramen like this.
Why does it taste so good?
Well, it's the variety of the ramen. Hold on. Emil, had you ever eaten ramen before now?
Nope.
What is the appeal ramen holds that it would even grip foreign children trying it for the first time?
Something bothering you about ramen?
Ah!
Forgive me, but as the Ramen King, I cannot let that pass.
Ramen King?
Mr. King, I thought you went to Wakanai.
I had a hankering for Hakata ramen.
Wow, he's the real deal.
Mr. King, what is this appeal ramen has that captivates even children trying it for the first time? I don't think variety, like you told me before, is enough to explain it.
A soup based on tonkotsu dashi is easy for meat-eating Westerners to like. You could reasonably argue that, however, in the end, that's merely theory. And yet still, there's another reason for the endless appeal of ramen, my man.
Please, tell me what it is. A sufficient explanation that I, as a food writer, can accept.
Make it simpler, Michael! Don't think, just feel. You don't need a starter with ramen. You don't need a dessert. Just that full bowl. That's all there is to ramen. It's that moment when magma hot soup meets noodles that shine like the Milky Way. The world is separated into ramen and not ramen. Hey, here you go. With the bowl serving as the boundary. All you need to do then is cast yourself into that bowl. Slurp up those noodles. No need to be self-conscious. Release yourself from all that binds you. Just slurp away to your heart's content. Eventually, in that moment, you'll swallow the last drops of soup. We are one with the universe!
Amazing. He didn't answer the question at all.
He probably did this to Daddy last time, too.
Within the bowl is a microcosm expressed as an entity called ramen. I think I finally see it. Mr. King?
I just received information that good ramen shops opened up in Niigata. How about it, Booth-san? Will you ride with me?
Travel with you? Oh. No, I'm afraid I can't.
Okay, Booth-san. May ramen bless all of you.
Dad, you really wanted to go with him.
It's okay. Everyone has a different path in life.
I can't live my life as freely as he can.
If dragging your family halfway around the world to try food isn't being free, I don't know what is.
I'll say.
Because the ramen is there, that's all I need. Because the ramen is there, that's all I need. A bowl of ramen fills up my heart. Ra ra ramen, I'm following you to the ends of the universe. Soy sauce is the flavor born in Tokyo by a guy who quit being an office drone. Miso, salt, and soy sauce, the variety of Hokkaido ramen, got together under the wide open world. Our days in Kuru May were so cloudy, cloudy like milky tonkotsu ramen. Oh, I got the ramen blues. I ate 3 bowls today. I love that ramen. Toyama's soup is black as pitch. But you know, it doesn't hide our memories. Wavy noodles of the Sano ramen reminds me of your wavy hair. Taiwan ramen in Nagoya is a bit spicy and painful to my heart. Oh, I got the ramen blues. I ate 3 bowls today. Oh, it looks so good.
Today I'm making instant ramen. It is such a special treat. Pour in the powder and the boiling water heats. Wait for just 3 minutes and you'll see how it goes. But don't forget to...
Emil! Daddy! Mommy!
I'm not your mommy. Sorry. Are you lost?
Sorry, Emil suddenly had to go, so we went looking for a toilet.
We're sorry, Aska.
Emil was amazing today. How does a body that small hold so much?
Oh, thank goodness. Your papa and mama are here. Well, I should go. Goodbye, little boy.
It's not little boy! It's Aska! My name's Aska Booth!
Bye-bye, Asker. Amazing! Earlier it felt like we'd arrived in some sort of futuristic city.
This is more like the Kyoto we imagined. There are apparently no less than 10,000 torii gates running up the mountaintop here at the Fushimi Inari Taisha Shrine. Aska, care to try counting all these?
Aska? What's this?
Omakaru Ishi.
Omakaru Ishi?
As you make a wish, you lift up the stone on top of the lantern. If it feels heavy, your wish won't be granted. On the other hand, if it feels light, then your wish will come true.
Really?
Why not give it a try?
Okay, I will.
Hey, don't overdo it, okay?
Did you say this makes my wish come true?
If it feels light when you lift it.
It's light! It's lighter than us out making us climb a mountain all morning.
The only reason you're exhausted is because you insisted on overdoing things.
Then let me eat something fattier with more calories.
Kyoto tofu is special. I guarantee you won't regret this.
Tofu! A traditional processed food made from soybeans, said to have originated in China. Long ago, it became a familiar food based in East Asia. Low in calories and high in protein, it's also a rich source of lecithin and saponin. Since it contains such substances that are beneficial to health and beauty, it's gained attention as a health food and is now eaten all over the world.
So it's basically diet food, right? It wasn't that good when we had it at a vegetarian restaurant before. It has no flavour.
That was a misunderstanding.
Let's go get pizza instead.
Welcome to our restaurant.
Huh?
Asker?
Huh?
How lucky to meet again like this.
All right. I'll take you for pizza later.
I take it all back.
Huh?
Tofu is the absolute best.
This is yu tofu, or boiled tofu. With the sauce, you can add green onion or ginger if you like.
I got it.
That's amazing. That's hard even for Japanese people to do.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, the sweetness of the soybean is spreading through my mouth.
It has the texture of cream caramel. This is dengaku. The tofu is coated with miso pepper tree buds and then grilled.
The fresh unblended tofu has a fruity, nutty flavor. It goes well with the saltiness of miso.
It's great.
Tofu has a mild flavor. That's why it pairs so well with strongly flavored foods like miso. In summertime, chilled tofu with freshly grated ginger, green onion, and dried bonito is incredibly delicious.
You know a lot, sir.
I have a weakness for tofu cuisine. It's amazing how you're able to make such delicious food from it.
One reason is that we use fresh tofu. You have to eat tofu on the day it's made, before it loses its flavor.
I see. Then you must have fresh tofu delivered every day. Where do you get it from?
It's not very far at all.
Oh! I get it now! You have a tofu workshop on the premises. That's why it's so incredibly fresh. Could you let us watch?
Of course. The soybeans that make up the tofu are soaked in water for a full day and a night. We add water to the beans and then crush them into a fine paste. We call the resulting material dough. Then, after we heat it in a pressure cooker, it's wrung out and filtered.
I see. So what gets wrung out is the soy milk, right?
And this soy milk is then used to start tofu and is added to all kinds of tofu products. And while this okara may be tofu residue, even that tastes good too. So it's kept and used in our cooking. And next comes the molding. We pour the soy milk into a mold containing nigari. Nigari?
The coagulant that hardens the tofu.
We call the finished product silken tofu, like the boiled tofu you ate before. It's particularly creamy and fine textured. If we crumble the hardened tofu, expose it to pressure, and then wring the water out, it will harden further into cotton tofu. Therefore, cotton tofu is firm and doesn't crumble easily, even when cooked.
And you make it like this every day?
That's right. First thing in the morning, while it's still dark outside.
What's the most important thing when making tofu?
I think water, maybe.
Water?
You could say the quality of the water controls how the tofu will taste. That's because making tofu uses a ton of it.
Indeed. And Kyoto gets an unending flow of natural soft water from the mountains.
As for the soybeans, the ones we use come from a farmer we've contracted with to raise them organically. The nigari, too. We use a natural product made from seawater, just like it's always been.
I see. You don't cut corners when you're making your tofu.
No, we do it right.
tofu bun? You mean it's made with tofu?
Tofu buns have okara inside, not red bean. You saw that stuff left over after the dough is wrung out before, right? That's okara. It's flavored with soy sauce and sugar. Don't be so quick to be impressed. You shouldn't underestimate it just because it's residue from the wringing process. Okara is low in calories and just as nutritious as tofu. It's also high in fiber and calcium. I said it's high in fiber and calcium. Ask her what's wrong. This is where you usually try to stop me from demonstrating my vast wealth of knowledge, right?
Are you sure you don't want any bun? It's really good.
No, thanks.
Does your stomach hurt?
The omakaru ishi.
Hmm?
It was actually really, really, really heavy. I said I didn't want any. Won't you lay off? I said I didn't want any! All right. What are you doing?
Here, look. I'll make a funny face.
Huh?
Babe.
What is that? How are you even able to do that face? That's not fair!
Babe.
Stop it, Emil! Somebody stop it! I'm gonna die!
Looks like they enjoyed Kyoto's delicious tofu. Hi there, it's Michael's friend Toshi here. I'm in Katsushika, Tokyo, and this town has tofu every bit as good as in Kyoto. There, you hear that? Hey, Yama-chan. Hold up, will you?
Oh, hey there. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yama-chan is an apprentice at a tofu shop downtown. In the morning, he makes tofu. In the afternoon, he sells it door to door. 3 times a week, 4 hours a day, for a total of 15 kilometers. He walks selling the tofu that he's made. Yama-chan comes to the home of a regular customer and blows his signal horn.
That would be 460 yen, please.
This young man is enthusiastic about his business.
For his regular customers, he'll visit over 40 homes in one day, and all of them are waiting eagerly for Yama-chan's tofu.
Ah, the tofu man.
This is Nemoto-san, one of his regulars. They've known each other for 3 years now.
Hi.
By the way, ma'am, what are you making with that tofu today?
I'm making deep-fried tofu and mashed tofu salad.
Since we're here, could you show us your cooking? First, the deep-fried tofu. The tofu is divided into 8 pieces, coated with starch, and then fried in a generous amount of oil. Crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. This is Nemoto-san's specialty. It has a unique texture.
Whoops!
Our leaves! Don't touch our leaves! Oh, no!
Looks like he landed safely. So, frogs are still up, even at this time of year.
Emil! That's not right! You shouldn't wreck things that are important to other people, all right? And what if someone came along and broke one of your favorite toys? You wouldn't like that, right? Why are just the two of us going to dinner? What about Emil and Mum?
They're staying at the hotel tonight.
Why?
Emil can't come tonight. Because where we're going is a restaurant for grown-ups only.
Huh? Wow! Daddy, what are we eating tonight?
Kaiseki Ryori.
Kaiseki Ryori?
It is, to an extent, the summit of Japanese cuisine.
Kaiseki Ryori, also known as cha kaiseki. It originated as the meal served before formal tea ceremonies. It's said that the great tea master Sen no Rikyu at first served only a simple meal with rice, soup, and 3 dishes. But with the development of restaurants and the maturation of food culture, kaiseki changed from simple tea ceremony meals to the dishes of today that people enjoy as special cuisine served at high-end restaurants.
It used to be that first-time customers would be turned away. However, lately they've set the bar a bit lower. Ah, here's the place.
Right. Wow. Oh.
This is today's Sakizuke course.
That's it?
Kaiseki are multi-course meals. The Sakizuke is only the first course of several.
You're very well informed.
Well, thank you. I've read up on it a bit. Well, Asuka, let's tuck in.
Right.
The flavor is very subdued. Is this just steamed crab? No, it's not. There's a faint saltiness with the sourness of the sudachi, and a bitterness of chrysanthemum working in exquisite harmony with the crab's unique texture. And this mizuna, it's been seasoned with soy sauce, and is that a hint of mirin? The depth of flavor is astonishing.
It's really good, huh?
Maybe you're a little young for that.
No, I'm not.
Now then, what other culinary delights will appear? My heart's almost bursting with anticipation.
Next we have Hasun.
What's a hasum?
A variety of seasonal dishes on one plate, which can be anything from seafood to mountain vegetables. Sort of an appetizer combo plate.
Today's Hasun, the autumn kawazu.
Kawazu! Is this stone a lid? So then, inside must be...
What's kawazu?
a type of frog.
I don't want to eat a frog!
Don't worry, what you're going to eat isn't frog.
Huh?
It's the frog's feelings.
The frog's feelings?
Asuka, don't look at him like that. That's impolite.
Do you know what he means, Daddy?
Why a frog? Is that the frog there, in the chilliness of the night, knowing it must go? Is that a haiku? Was that Basho? Or Isa, perhaps? I'm ashamed to admit that it's something that I composed. A phrase to garnish this dish. Its theme, you could say. Its theme, you say? Please, lift the lid and eat. This is siligo. These are mushrooms. This is ginkgo.
How do you like the tastes of Kyoto? We don't use very many fats or oils, so I wonder how well it agrees with your palate.
Yes, the seasoning is subtle, but it brings out the flavor of the ingredients. It truly is a cuisine of astonishing depth. I usually think of cooking as adding flavors to the ingredients, but kaiseki seems to operate under a completely different mindset.
We Japanese are serious chefs and believe it is most important to bring the essential flavors of the ingredients out as much as possible.
I met another man before who told me something similar.
Japanese people think of the ingredients as gifts from God. That's why we try not to change them too much. Japanese cuisine is subtractive cuisine.
Subtractive cuisine. I thought kaiseki was simply a high-class traditional Japanese multi-course meal. But it seems I was mistaken.
For kaiseki, the key point is you must grab the flow of the seasons. For that reason, we kaiseki chefs are incredibly particular about seasonal ingredients. But aside from that, we must include nourishment for the soul. It's not simply about eating and filling one's belly. We must leave a patron feeling spiritually sated once the meal is done.
But what did you mean about the frog?
This hasun represents the scene that the last frog of autumn sees. As autumn deepens, you see the frogs less and less, their croaks vanishing from the sunset bit by bit. The frog, whether he knows his isolation or not, just sits on his stone, the colors of autumn reflected in his eye. It was that sort of wistful, sentimental feeling that our chef conveyed.
I see now. I can tell it's more than just about feeding people and trying to fill them up, isn't it?
That's right. What you tasted now was the season.
Kaiseki isn't just food. There's something more intellectual about it, more sublime. It's food for the soul. Autumn in Japan. The autumn deepening. It truly was a beautiful meal. I feel like I've just seen leaves in their full autumn colors. Asuka, did you see it too?
Yes, I guess.
The Japanese who express the change of the seasons in their food. Is this also mono no aware? Maybe this was too much for my son to understand. But someday, he will.
We're back!
We're back!
Welcome back.
What happened?
Emil refused to eat. He was angry about getting left behind.
Emil, we're back! Sorry you got left behind.
I'll never forgive you.
What do you think we had? You'll be surprised. An autumn kawazu. You don't believe me. Kawazu means we had frog.
I forgive you.
Frog?
Well, he's not entirely wrong about that.
Here, Mum, a souvenir.
Oh, what can it be?
I just caught it on the side of the road.
Caught it?
Ta-da! It's an autumn frog.
Oi, Asuka, what do you think you're doing? Oh dear. Our family is unlikely to become stilled by the melancholy of the changing seasons anytime soon.
I'm impressed they went for an authentic Kyoto Kaiseki Ryori. Hey there, it's Michael's friend, Toshi. And today, I've been invited for a formal tea ceremony. Also, I can enjoy a delicious tea and cha kaiseki. Conducting today's ceremony will be Sadahiro Kimura-san.
I bid you welcome.
He's the head chef of a restaurant which dates back to the Edo period. Guests touch the art hanging in the alcove, persimmon, right?
Yes, that's a work done by a high priest of the Daitoku temple.
The word persimmon is used in a haiku to represent autumn, and this piece of art carries a great deal of meaning for the ceremony. First to be brought out are these 3 dishes. It's the custom to open 2 of them at the same time. Inside are rice and miso soup. There's a reason for bringing out rice to start like this.
We make a bit of freshly cooked rice to help enhance the flavor of the dark green tea. Tea tastes better when you have a little something in your stomach.
The miso soup combines red and white miso. It's garnished with the autumnal ingredients of pumpkin squash and dissolved mustard. With miso, you generally serve red in summer, white in winter, and for spring and autumn, they're mixed. Next to be offered is, sake. After having the sake, mukozuke is presented. It's called mukozuke because it's placed on the far end. Today's is thinly sliced flounder. It's seasoned with a mixture of rice vinegar and a light soy sauce.
Mukozuke is made especially for the purpose of drinking sake.
The food isn't the only thing that entertains the guest.
I'm not, but
Then what are you drinking?
beetroot juice. That's it.
Michael, that's such a waste. You didn't come to Japan just to try the food. You need to try the local liquor, too. That's right, Japanese sake.
What? Japanese sake? No, thank you. I had it before, back in London. It smelled like glue and tasted like petrol. I really can't stand the taste of that stuff.
You don't say.
I know lately it's gotten popular overseas, but I can't understand why.
You just don't know what real delicious Japanese sake is like. Just try it once and your world will change. You love that moment when you put something in your mouth and the whole world changes for you, don't you?
I suppose.
In that case, there's nothing else for it. There's a man I'd like you to meet.
Japanese sake! An alcoholic beverage chiefly made from rice mold, and water. By means of fermentation action on the starch in the rice by mold, it is changed to sugars, and then by yeast fermentation it is finally brewed into this uniquely Japanese drink. There are many varieties of water, rice, and mold to use, and how they are combined produces varieties that match the tastes of each region.
Okay, it should be here somewhere. Ah, here we are. Oh. Pardon me, but I'm Michael Booth. Toshi referred me to you.
Try it.
Okay. As I expected, it smells more like fuel than liquor.
I said drink!
Yes, sir. Terrible. Damn it, Toshi. This isn't going to change my world. If anything, it just reinforces what I know. Japanese sake is...
Awful, isn't it?
Yes.
Just like the sake you had before, right?
Yes. It did taste like this.
Now try drinking this.
It doesn't have that horrible smell. To the contrary, it's a nice sort of fruity smell.
Go on, drink!
Right.
Good, ain't it?
Yes, it is. But why is it so different? They're both Japanese sake, right?
Making Japanese sake is a delicate and complicated process. So even if you cut corners, even a little, you end up with a nasty, low-quality swell. That's probably what you've had before. What you drank just now is real Japanese sake that I took the time and effort to make.
It's delicious. Japanese sake tastes so different depending on the quality.
Eat this with it.
Right. This is the umami of dried cuttlefish and the unique flavor of sake make a really intense blend and generate superb deliciousness. This is Japanese sake.
I'm guessing you like it. I'm Gondo. My family's run a sake brewery on this land for generations. Toshi told me to drive the true magnificence of Japanese sake into you.
Thank you so much. Now I understand sake's true magnificence.
What? Don't make me laugh. We're just getting started. I'm taking you to a restaurant that combines sake with the foods best suited to it.
Okay.
This is the place. We're here.
Mr. Gondo, this is a joke, right?
There you go, Gondo-san. Here's your margarita. And here's your Han Gondo.
This is some of my sake, too. The owner here really appreciates the flavor of sake.
It's a different flavor than what I had earlier.
This here is dry honjoso.
Dry honjoso?
Yes, dry honjoso. Making Japanese sake begins by polishing the rice used to make it. The polishing rate determines the ratio. Sake made with a ratio of 70% or lower is called honjoso.
Ah.
Japanese sake is divided into many categories. Ginjo, Junmai Ginjo, Dai Ginjo, Junmai Dai Ginjo, Onjoso, Junmai, and so on. All dependent on the rice polishing ratio and details of the brewing process. And among those, they're further divided into sweet and dry, and all sorts of other characteristics.
There's that many varieties.
Now, Michael, have some with this pizza.
Right. I'm shocked. The flavor of the dense cheese and the stiff chill of the sake really do go well together. What a fresh aftertaste. It's delicious.
Japanese sake contains lots of umami component amino acids and goes well with food. It goes especially well with our dishes that include tomatoes and cheese.
All I can say is that my sake is just so damn tasty.
There's more to Japanese sake than I ever imagined. Junmai Shu goes especially well with food with deep umami and rich taste like miso simmered mackerel. The subtle aroma of sake and deep flavor of the sauce balance each other so well.
Correct. I'd never have guessed you were the sort of man who until yesterday was drinking beer with sushi, a drink that doesn't go at all with vinegar and sugar.
Please don't mention that.
That's the department chief for you.
Mr. Gondo, there's hardly anyone here drinking sake. It's not very popular here, is it?
It's not just here. Every year, less and less Japanese are drinking it. It is only 1/3 the number of consumers it had 40 years ago. My sake is no exception. It's a crisis.
Really? It's in that sad a state? But it's delicious. Why is that?
Probably because most people don't know what sake should taste like. Anyway, I really don't want to force people like that to drink what I make.
But you have to find out what your consumers' needs are.
Their needs? To hell with their needs. You know how long my family's been making high-quality sake for? 300 years. My brewery has a 300-year history to be proud of.
Pardon me. I'm going to interview them.
Hey, Michael!
Why don't you drink Japanese sake?
It's lame. Stuff my dad drinks.
It's a little stinky. It makes me sick.
Well, who needs it at this point? And that completes my interviews. Mr. Gondo.
That's why I didn't want to hear it!
Just those few interviews showed nothing but negative impressions. Japanese sake just doesn't have a good image.
Kids, like a bunch of unpolished rice. I'll give them a piece of my mind.
Mr. Gondo! Who's this old dude?
You people have never tasted really delicious Japanese sake, have you? Drink it!
Wow, I never realized how tasty Japanese sake really was.
I'll be sure to come to your shop and buy some.
Goodbye.
Very good.
See you, Elliot.
Thanks.
You did it, Mr. Gondo. It certainly was a sudden and bold approach, but it appears you've won over a few new sake fans.
Maybe, Michael. I can't keep being as pretentious as I was. I need to figure out a better way to let people know exactly how good my sake really is. Figure out a surefire way to get them to buy it. Alright?
Mr. Gondo, have you thought about trying to sell your sake overseas?
Overseas?
Yes, that's right. Japanese sake's popularity is growing overseas. Exports in the last 5 years have doubled, you know. I'm sure your sake could sell well. I know. May I write an article about you and your sake?
Michael.
Because I want the people of the world to know more about your sake. If you're up for it, Mr. Gondo, let's go back to your sake brewery. I still need to drink some more.
You still feel like drinking?
Yes. This is serious investigative research now, not just drinking for pleasure.
So wait, you mean to tell me that you've been drinking since yesterday?
I really need to learn more about Mr. Gondo's sake for an article I'm writing. Although I may have had a little too much.
Seems like you've had more than just a little bit.
Mom, let's go!
Oh, right. Well, we're going to get something to eat right now. Shall we pick something up for you too?
Japanese sake.
You want to drink more?
The thing about Japanese sake is it tastes good.
Well, we'll be on our way then.
Oh, Japanese sake, I'll follow you anywhere you go. Well, Michael, it looks like the marriage of pizza and Japanese sake really moved you. Marriage is the delightful effect you get when a food combines well with a wine. All right, maybe I got a little pretentious there, because I actually don't know too much about it. That's why I've come here today to have this man teach me.
Toshi, hi there.
This is Satoshi Kimijima. He travels all over Japan visiting sake breweries in the pursuit of fine sake, the fourth generation of a well-established sake distributor. Kimijima-san, can Japanese sake really go with anything?
Japanese sake is made from rice. And when you think about it, rice goes with just about everything. Moreover, sake can be served warm, chilled, and you can combine it with nearly anything.
I see. Well, we'll begin with this. Chilled, dry Tanrei Junmai. This sake's chief characteristic is a sharp, refreshing flavor. Kimijima-san, what would this go with?
Let's see. Something with vegetables. Banya Freda, perhaps?
Banya Freda. An assortment of vegetables dressed in a chilled anchovy sauce. You would usually have white wine with anchovies, wouldn't you?
White wine will usually bring out a sort of fishy smell in the food. But with chilled Tanrei dried Junmai, it erases that fishiness very well. Vegetables have a lively flavor and it brings that out, too.
That's right. There's no fishy smell with this, and the vegetables are refreshingly delicious. After the chilled sake comes warmed sake, a warm cup of full-bodied Junmai. Kimijima-san, what would go well with this? Ah, tuna steak. It's seasoned with a dense puree of white potato and a balsamic sauce. Why this food, though?
It would seem that we're fated to keep meeting. This is my wife, Listen, and my oldest boy, Asuka. And this is Emil, my youngest son. I'm honored to meet you. And this is Mr. Onizuka, a leading authority in the world of Japanese cuisine. If I hadn't read his book on Japanese cuisine, we probably never would have come to Japan like this. He's my revered guru. Michael-san, you're going a bit overboard with your flattery.
He just looks like a Japanese gangster to me.
Shh! By the way, have you all eaten?
No, not yet.
There happens to be a very good sushi shop not far from here. I've been from Hokkaido to Fukuoka, doing research in all sorts of places, making amazing discoveries one after another. And the work on my book is going very well. I can't wait to read it. Have you settled on a title yet? I haven't nailed it down yet. I've got an idea, though. Ah. When someone says Japanese cuisine, the first thing the overwhelming majority of foreigners think of is sushi. But what I want to tell the people of the world about is the vast range of Japanese cuisine aside from that. For example, Japanese cuisine aside from sushi. No, forget that. Japanese people don't live on sushi alone. Or maybe not. Aside from the title, I'm certain the content I'm writing is solid. Perhaps
This book will be even better than the one you wrote. Just kidding.
Sir, it was a tasteless joke. Pay it no mind.
It's nothing I can't handle.
Thank you for waiting.
Huh? What's this? Isn't there any tuna?
Ask her. This probably isn't like the sushi you're used to. This is
Sabazushi!
You're familiar with it.
Yes, of course!
Impressive as ever, Michael-san. Sabazushi, or mackerel sushi, is also known as oshizushi, and it is a type which has a very long history behind it. It isn't made like the sushi you're familiar with. Rather,
You make it by pressing it together firmly!
Wow, really?
the way it's made is like this.
The mackerel is salted and then marinated in vinegar before being laid under the sushi rice. That's then wrapped in kombu, which has been boiled in vinegar, and then that's wrapped in a bamboo peel. It's then rested overnight for a full day, allowing the mackerel to peak in umami. After that, you eat it without soy sauce or wasabi, like so.
Wow, this is really good.
Oh, it's really tasty. It's,
I'd like to try the kombu around it, too.
Sir, pay him no mind.
Now, why would I mind? He gave an accurate description of it, didn't he?
Oh, this is lovely.
I've had more and more business taking me to Kyoto, so I've made this my second home of late. I'm surprised you already knew about Sabazushi.
Well, I do try to do my research about a city and its food before I get there. Still, actually eating it made me understand how sabazushi ties in with sushi's origins.
Nigiri sushi and Sabazushi both have the acidic bite of vinegared rice. However, seasoning rice with vinegar only came into practice in the 17th century, when vinegar gained popularity. That raises the question of what was sushi like before that happened. Huh? Funazushi. Are you familiar with funazushi? A type of nadazushi going back more than 1,000 years. A fermented food to which vinegar isn't added.
Nadazushi, made by pickling fish in a starchy food, usually rice. The lactic acid which results from the spontaneous fermentation of the starch acts as a preservative, preventing the fish's flesh from rotting. It's believed to be the origin of sushi.
I read about it in a book before, but
A curious mind is an admirable thing to have. Bring Michael-san some funazushi. Funazushi, ordered from Lake Biwa.
Wow.
Oscar! The aroma might be a bit too sharp for him. However, I like it. If we're talking about the history of sushi, you can't avoid mentioning funazushi. Funazushi! With freshwater fish funa, all internal organs, except for the ovaries, are removed. Then the funa is pickled in salt, descaled, and packed in rice for several months to a year. The rice is gradually liquefied in the fermentation process, and then, with squishy rice, the funa is eaten.
the rice is used as material for lactic acid fermentation.
Yes, but eating such rice is also a pretty interesting experience. Why don't we dispense with the tedious talk? You're the one who came all the way from England to try unusual Japanese foods. Surely you wouldn't miss a chance to dig for a deeper experience and write your book with only a superficial knowledge of the subject, would you? Please, help yourself.
There's no fresh fish or shiny rice.
This isn't any sort of sushi we know.
You're talking about edomae sushi.
Edamame?
What the world knows as nigiri sushi was originally made from fish from Tokyo Bay, which was called edomae, and so it's known as edomae sushi. Its history is way too short. Compared to the 1,000-year history of funazushi, edomae sushi is like an infant! It was only 200 years ago in Tokyo, Edo in those days, that nigiri sushi's birth cries were first heard, and the thing that gave it its start, Edo's fire! Edo was was prone to fires in those days, and to prevent them, food stalls and street food suppliers were forbidden to use fire. And so, in order to make food that didn't need fire, they created a fast food item. Prepared fish, served on vinegared rice. And so nigiri sushi became a popular food for the impatient inhabitants of Edo.
Nigiri sushi is just historically superficial fast food.
If you call yourself a food journalist, don't you think you should look a little deeper? To the other side of nigiri sushi. Well, if you'll excuse me. I see it. Deep within the intense acidity, there's the dense, mature umami. Truly a forbidden paradise, only attainable by a select few. Now it's your turn. If you can't eat this, then I win.
When did this turn into a matter of winning or losing?
Yeah, you really must have been irritated with them.
Michael, are you alright? Daddy, snap out of it!
There are sights which can only be beheld by those who dare walk into unknown lands. The fruits that are only attainable by those who dare. Now, do you step forward or shrink back? Michael Booth, what will you do?
We won't be beaten. Me too.
Mr. Onizuka, ever since I encountered your book, I felt as though you've been leading me on this journey. But now, from here on, I go forth of my own will. I will carry on your will. And surpass it!
Within the intense aroma and torrent of acidity, what my tongue discovered was a rich explosion of mine.
Are you awake? He's really a grandfather at heart, isn't he? Mr. Onizuka has a real stubborn streak, not unlike you.
He needs to be that intense. He's defending the traditions of his native cuisine while pushing it to evolve.
I enjoyed our time today. You have a wonderful family.
They're my co-authors.
How do you mean?
I'm writing my book as a journal of a family's quest to discover Japanese cuisine.
I see. I have a feeling you'll be able to write a book that I couldn't. After all, how can I beat 4 against 1?
Actually, when I ate that funazushi before, I thought of a title for my book. Sushi and Beyond is a good title, Michael. Not bad for you. But how about the contents? Have you managed to describe the essence of sushi? Fine. Here's a special program just for you. Are you ready?
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, you wanna know what lies behind the sushi beyond the Edo style counter? How we do? G.O. come with DJ Chef and let's go. During 4 seasons of Japanese sushi, right? Seasonal ingredients always rise in price. Watch your step, don't trip over the curtain cords. The buzzer fingers are faster than heirloom swords. Ain't no bacon full of soul and wrapped in rice. Fresh ingredients picked every day, alright. Fluffing your gums, you'll be disappointing the chef. The color of ingredients changes moment to moment. Back.
Hey, welcome.
In early spring, chow down on some sawada. Chef rolls while y'all eat real slow. Kingfish, mackerel, rockfish, slam bonito.
Hey, welcome.
With the summer sun comes young fish in. Little shad, medium shad, big shad. Hey, I'm out in the street again today.
Edamame, edamame, edamame. When you have love, my love, my love, my love.
Sushi's about rhythm, freshness, life. Chef's fingers move like scratching a record, right? The hot-headed people of Edo, man, gave birth to sushi, the treasure of Japan. The world gathers round to watch the way Edo rolls. Take a post-meal tea, can't eat it slow. Go pieces down, cleanse your palate with ginger, yo. Wipe your hands on the towel and now go. What do you recommend during the bountiful fall? Salmon, celery, salmon, roast, sardine, sea green, mackerel, swordfish. I want it all. In the wintertime, I'll show you the blooming blood clams, octopus, tuna, scorpion, fish, flounder, and don't miss the snow crab, man.
I wanna come back, Edo my love, Edo my love. When you have love, my love.
You should check out a language school and get educated, don't you think? Oh, wait, my shoulder's better now. Hey, kid, do you want some candy? Be more careful. Hey, watch where you're going! What the hell's wrong with you? Almost dislocated my shoulder.
Discounted quite a bit.
I don't know if I can get used to this.
I don't know what your deal is.
Osaka's a busy city, isn't it? Because of that, it's also the birthplace of two of Japan's greatest culinary inventions. Instant ramen and conveyor belt sushi. Both are now popular all over the world for their convenience.
So we're eating instant ramen or conveyor belt sushi today?
Not today. If you come to Osaka, there are two other kinds of local fast food that you simply must try first.
What are they?
Okonomiyaki and takoyaki.
Ah, your stomach's prepared, lads.
We're starving!
Good. Well, listen, it's time to...
What's up?
Oh, never mind. It's nothing.
You certainly are looking longingly at that window.
I keep meaning to buy a Japanese souvenir for everyone back home, but everything's always about food all the time.
That's true. Why don't you go off by yourself for a bit, and Asuka, Emil, and I will go eat.
Sounds really good. Maybe I should do that.
I'm always dragging you around on my food quests, right? You need your own time, don't you?
Okay, see you later then.
Isn't Mum going to come with us?
Your mum needs to take a break, boys. Besides, when she starts shopping, it's worse to be with her. She'll do that whole thing that she does. Is this one good? How about this? Or maybe this? And so on. So, do we have okonomiyaki, or do we have takoyaki instead? Should we try that place? Or maybe we should try this place instead?
Just choose any of them! I'm hungry!
You must know life is too short to eat rubbish food when something really great might be around the corner.
I'm hungry.
I would have gone with Mum if I'd have known that this would happen!
Asuka, your mum's already gone. Just give up on that, okay?
She left you?
Huh? Ah!
I asked, did she leave you? Your wife left you, didn't she? I can tell.
Huh? Who are you? Why do you ask something personal like that?
That boy just said he wished he was with his mama.
Oh, well, about that, you see.
I'm really hungry!
Poor kid. We can't have you go hungry now, can we? What kind of a father are you?
No, it's not like that.
Enough.
Huh?
The longer we talk here, the hungrier they'll get. You want to ask me anything? Do it at my shop.
Huh?
This is Osaka. We butt into other people's business, and when we see somebody in trouble, we don't just let it go. Our shop is unique because we serve both takoyaki and okonomiyaki. Follow me.
But
Don't dawdle. Get a move on.
Daddy, are you sure we should be following a weirdo like her?
you never know. This might be fun. She seems nice enough.
Right here.
Doesn't look like you would serve very good food.
Well, let's go in. That's where it all fell apart. My company folded. My wife left me. Just when I thought my boys and I could make it on our own, someone tricked me and we were driven from our home.
I see. You've had it rough. Still, when life makes you walk uphill, it means you'll be hitting the downslope too. A father shouldn't cry. You've got to be strong.
Right.
You tell a lie like that in front of your own children?
We won't get anywhere if I don't lie.
Come on. No more moping around. Eating will make you feel better. So what'll you have? Takoyaki, okay?
All right, let's do that.
Hey, what sort of food is takoyaki?
I'm glad you asked.
Takoyaki, a popular yet common dish marked by its ball shape, in which wheat flour is dissolved in water or dashi broth and cooked in a special round-shaped grill. Inside the ball is chewy taco or octopus.
Octopus? Emil, we're leaving.
Ask her!
I absolutely can't eat octopus. I can't.
It's common to eat octopus in Japan. You know what they say. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? Come on, it looks interesting. It looks good.
I mix wheat flour with egg and dashi broth. It's not simple. There's a trick to mixing it.
A trick?
That's right, little guy. You've got to mix it, but not too much.
How do you know how much?
Experience. You've got to put a lot of sauce on this, along with bonito flakes and nori seaweed. It's really hot. Be careful you don't burn your mouths.
It's great. The chicken batter is mixing with the sauce. It's like soup.
I can't understand you.
So you like it? Oh, I'm so glad. You boys hang on while I whip you up some nice tasty okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki. Made with a batter of wheat flour and either water or dashi, to which egg and cabbage are added, along with other ingredients like seafood and meat. These are then lightly scrambled, cooked into an oval shape on a flat grill, and then topped with sauce and mayonnaise. Like takoyaki, it's a very popular and common dish. In the Kansai region where Osaka is located, the ingredients are mixed together and then cooked, resulting in what is generically referred to as Kansai-style okonomiyaki. Hiroshima style is also popular. It features a batter poured out as a thin crepe-like dish, topped with cabbage and served with noodles.
So what'll you have on it? The okonomi in the name means whatever you like. You can add pork, kimchi, squid, shrimp. In Osaka, the most popular way is with butatama pork, but I'd recommend pork and kimchi.
Ask her, what will you have?
What's kimchi?
It's a Korean dish of spicy pickled cabbage.
I don't know, but I'll have that.
How about you, sweetie? Ice cream. Hey, I may have said whatever you like, but there's a limit.
Some people refer to okonomiyaki as Japanese pizza or an Osaka omelet, but it's actually closer to a hybrid of a pancake and a tortilla.
Now watch carefully. Here we go! You like that? You like that, don't you? Some places, after they flip the okonomiyaki, they will press down on them with spatulas till steam comes out. I don't do that. Never, ever do that. Never, ever do that!
Yes, ma'am.
If you press down, you squeeze all the air out. That gives you flat okonomiyaki. I think one that's plump and juicy tastes better. Now for the finishing touch.
That's this shop's secret sauce, isn't it? The thing that convinced me to come in here was its rich, fascinating, fragrant aroma.
You know your stuff, mister. Yeah, this is my secret sauce that I put my sweat and tears into. On top of the sauce, you add mayonnaise, bonito flakes, nori seaweed, and bits of cooked batter. If you like it, then you eat it.
This is...
It's right.
The sauce complements it perfectly, and all the vegetables make it a healthy dish too.
I see. I'm glad you like it. Well, enjoy it then.
Is that your family?
My daughter and her husband. She married a good guy. He took over this old rundown shop for me.
You mean this isn't your shop?
Oh, well, how do I put this? Sometimes I come in like this and do it for old time's sake.
Thank you very much for what you did.
Thank you for letting me stick my nose in your business. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. Listen, if you happen to see my daughter and son-in-law, could you tell them I said thanks?
Me? Couldn't you tell them yourself?
Right. You're right. Say hi to your wife for me.
Huh? What a strange old lady.
But the food was great.
I want to go back.
Good idea. Next time we'll bring Mum with us. Passed away?
Yes, that's right. A year ago.
A year ago? That can't be right. She made me food here just yesterday.
The shop was closed yesterday.
What?
You're actually the fourth one she's led here. Did you mention feeling you were hungry yesterday? She always has to stick a nose in other people's business.
So typical of my mom.
She had something to say to you. She asked me to thank you for taking over this shop.
She actually said that, huh?
Well, if that doesn't beat all. An angel?
Don't you think she might have been?
An old lady angel, huh? Do you remember what was written on that bookshop window we saw in Paris once?
Be not inhospitable to strangers, lest they be angels in disguise. Correct?
I wish I could have met that old lady angel, too.
You will one day.
This rum smells like that sauce.
You didn't get it on your clothes, did you? Huh? That's strange. Where is that smell coming from?
Noisy, pushy, fun, with everything you could ever want. That is the city of Osaka.
Hi there. This is Michael's friend Toshi. Osaka Konamo is cooking with a flour base, and there's one thing that it can't leave out. Sauce. Osakans take their sauces very seriously. Ask 100 people and you'll get 100 ways of using it. Say miss, how do you use sauce?
With konyaku.
Konyaku, huh?
I slice it up, fry it, and eat it with sauce.
I'll admit, that sounds good. And you, ma'am?
With tofu. I add it to tofu, then I top it with whatever vegetables I have, like a salad, and eat it with sauce.
You use it in place of dressing. From what I've gathered from the Osakans, the place to go for sauce is here. Oh, that's amazing. The shelves hold a mountain of sauces. They've gathered sauces from all over the country, over 300 different ones. As you'd expect, they have a special sauce menu here too. Lined up, they spell Osaka. About 50 kinds are true Osakan products. Mr. Manager, why do you have so many Osakan sauces?
Actually, I think it's because I'm from around here. When you talk about Kansai cooking, sauce is just a seasoning you never leave out. I really want these delicious sauces to be spread all around the world.
So Osaka is really big on making sauces. Any recommendations?
I suggest a fig sauce. It's made in a place called Habakino in Osaka. The sauce made with figs is pretty fruity and pretty popular.
It's so fragrant I almost can't control myself. Fig sauce, huh? I'm intrigued. I've come to Habakino in Osaka.
Miso soup is definitely a dish with a profound flavor. But since the flavor of miso itself can be a bit off-putting, getting used to it can be a high hurdle for foreigners trying it for the first time.
And so you tried using it as a seasoning in Western dishes?
Exactly. Just adding a spoonful of miso to the tomato sauce gave it an even better flavor than I imagined. And the dressing is a mixture of wine vinegar, olive oil, sugar, garlic, and miso. Since miso is so rich and full of umami, you can use it in stews instead of salt. Huh? What's with that look?
It looks awful. And it smells a bit like a sewer, too.
Hello?
Hey there, Michael. What are you up to?
Oh, just trying out some recipes using some miso.
Like adding a spoonful of miso to tomato sauce? That is so pedestrian.
I've been wondering something for a while now. Are you somehow watching me?
Oh, I just remembered. I set you up to interview at the miso brewery like you asked. Osaka has a lot of miso brewers, but the one I chose for you is a little unusual.
Unusual?
He is the most suitable brewer to teach you all about miso.
Daddy, what's a miso brewery like?
Oh, well, it's where they make miso.
Sounds boring.
Not at all. It's really, really fun.
Does it have cute animals?
Let's see. It has koji mold cells.
Koji mold cells? Oh, another foreigner.
He's looking at us. Is he dressed for a festival?
I guess he's a sightseer. You see his type once in a while, who get bitten with the Japan bug.
He's coming towards us.
Huh?
Mr. Michael Booth?
Huh?
Who is he? Do you know him?
Never seen him.
Maybe you've worked with him.
I don't recognize him.
Maybe he's a fan of yours, Daddy.
Into my box. Yes, that's possible. Maybe he wants an autograph. No. It's dangerous to make this assumption. What if I'm wrong? There's no telling the trauma that might cause me. Wait, but how does he walk from Miso Brew? Oh, now I see. So that's what Toshi meant by him being unusual. I get it. A foreigner working at an old, established miso brewers. Yes, it's not bad material for a book. And now that I think about it, it's not that surprising. Someone who's really into traditional Japanese culture goes off to work at an established miso brewer, so he's the obvious one for this job. I can imagine the whole story.
Hello. Johnny Daniels.
Johnny, how do you do?
I'm good. I'm from England, like you, Michael.
My fellow countrymen.
Please, come in.
It feels so historic here.
We've been in business for 200 years. This brewery is important and has been passed down through several generations.
That's amazing. And what generation is the current president?
Well, I'm the 8th.
I see. You're the 8th. Huh? No, sorry. What I meant to ask is, what generation your boss is?
Boss, I need your stamp on this.
Right. Got it.
Boss, phone call for you from the bank.
I've got visitors. Tell them to call back later.
The boss?
Yes, Michael. I currently serve as the president.
Michael, you shouldn't judge people by their appearances.
I don't believe it. An Englishman runs this miso brewery?
Miso can be divided into 3 general types depending on the ingredients. Komi miso is made from soybeans, rice, and salt. Mugi miso is made from soybeans, barley, and salt. And mame miso is made from just soybeans and salt. Further, they can be divided by color into white miso, light brown miso, and even red miso. But today I'll be showing you how white miso is made from soybeans, rice, and salt. The chief ingredient in miso is soybeans. First of all, the soybeans are soaked for about 15 hours so they can absorb water. Then we boil the saturated soybeans for 3 hours. Once we get the boiled soybeans, we now go to the process of adding kome koji, or rice malt.
Kome koji. Is that the stuff Daddy mentioned?
This is kome koji. It allows the soybeans to ferment and is vital to making miso.
Koji. Koji is produced when koji mold cells take root on grains, such as rice or barley. Its main characteristic is its ability to convert starches to dextrose, and to break down proteins into amino acids, which are the principal components to umami. It's a vital substance in Japanese cuisine, and is necessary in the production of not only miso, but soy sauce and Japanese sake. It's grown in special koji rooms, where temperature and humidity can be strictly controlled.
We use the rice as a nursery to grow the koji mold cells. The finished product is called kome koji. The fluffy stuff you can see here is a collection of mold spores and fungal filament.
Huh? This is mold, and you mix it with soybeans?
We do indeed. Here, we mix salt with the kome koji. That's what gives miso its distinctive saltiness and allows us to arrest bacterial growth. Next, we take the mixture of salt and kome koji, then mix that with a mash made from the boiled soybeans. The kome koji doesn't just break down the proteins in the soybeans into amino acids. At the same time, it also converts the starches in the rice into sugars. That's what gives miso its characteristic sweetness.
You really mix it in.
Ask her. There are lots of other fermented foods that borrow the power of yeast and mold. Wine and cheese are also fermented foods.
They are?
Next, we fill these containers with the mixture we've made.
You do it by hand, I see. It feels nice.
This is with miso. Finally, the miso-filled containers are weighted down and taken to the storehouse where they're rested and aged. As far as this brewery goes, we age white miso 1 month. For red miso, it'll take 2 years waiting for the miso to be fermented and aged. This is knowledge gained from my predecessors, more than 1,000 years old.
So when he told my father, "Please let me marry your daughter," of course my father was horrified, and well, absolutely, he said no. "What does a foreigner know about miso?" he yelled.
I believe he also bellowed, I'll make him a nursery to grow koji.
Still, it's not often an Englishman marries the daughter of an established miso maker and then takes over the business. You must have been very determined.
He told me that he's been crazy for fermentation since he was a child.
Crazy for fermentation?
It started when I was 12, when I tried brewing my own ginger beer in our kitchen. Anything fermented. I just had to try making. Yogurt, wine, and even bread making.
And now you've made it your career.
To be honest, I had some regrets at first. While it was nice to take over an established shop, there were no manuals on how to do it. Everything I did, it was just starting from scratch. There was more than a few times I wanted to just pack it in and go home. If Sanai hadn't been there to support me, I probably wouldn't be here now.
In the end, I suppose we could say that Johnny is the soybeans and Sanai is the koji that helps it to ferment, right?
Michael, could you do me a favor and please not compare me to mold?
Oh, I didn't mean to say it like that. Johnny and I found we had much in common, and later that night he showed me around Osaka. According to Johnny, as Japanese eating habits have become more and more westernized, consumption of miso has fallen in recent years. However, funnily enough, Japanese food has experienced a boom lately, and so miso consumption overseas has been rising. In short, there's been a reversal. You can add miso to tomato pasta sauce to enhance its flavor.
And don't you think the Westerners would take a liking to a miso spread on bread?
That night, Johnny and I talked a lot as we laid out our strategy for Operation World Miso Conversion.
Michael-san, please be careful. He may not look it, but Johnny is a dyed-in-the-wool drinker.
That night, Johnny and I talked a lot as we laid out our strategy for Operation World Miso Conversion. Huh? Did I mention that already?
Hello, Michael. You must have really tied one on last night.
Please, not so loud. My head's aching. I really appreciate yesterday letting me meet an Englishman who runs a miso brewery.
That wasn't my only objective, you know.
Uh?
It had to be somebody on your wavelength who was also a drinker.
I'm afraid I'm not following you.
Wake up and do as I say.
Huh?
First, go into the kitchen and make some miso soup.
Oh.
Just make it with tofu, green onions, and shiitake.
Oh.
Okay, now drink it.
It's delicious. The umami of the dashi and miso is spreading to every cell in my body. This is the greatest thing to eat when you wake up with a hangover.
I told you I'd show you what miso's really about. This is Michael's friend Toshi. Looks like he did a lot of research on miso in Osaka. But you can't talk about miso if you don't know about this place. Where is this, you ask? Nagoya, my hometown. This is Nagoya Castle, the symbol of the city. But let me tell you about miso, my hometown's flavor that is more brilliant than the shining gold shachihoko atop it. This is akadashi, served at any traditional Japanese restaurant. What they use here is mame miso. Nagoya is in Aichi Prefecture, which produces 70% of the mame miso supply for the entire country.
Welcome! Hey, Toshi! It's been ages!
I used to come to this restaurant all the time. In any case, the most basic flavor, or Nagoya, is mame miso. Oh, he's eating it. He's eating it. This is miso stew udon, a Nagoya special. Hot stew flavored with miso soup is added to firm udon noodles. Delicious. Mister, you use mame miso in the miso stew, right?
You bet. I'd never use any other kind. It's probably the saltiness. The flavor never thins out, no matter how long you cook it. I guess that's what makes mame miso the best to use in stew.
Not only that, since it's made with only soybeans and aged for a long time compared to rice or wheat miso, this one in particular has far more umami components. That's what makes the stew taste so good. Now, next up, we have this. Miso cutlet, where a pork cutlet is eaten topped with miso tare sauce. This tare is made by adding sugar, mirin, and other ingredients to mame miso. It has a salty, sweet flavor. Coupled with the umami of meat, it's a taste that can't be beat. Ah, what a feast. How about some tea? Oh, it's Mrs. Iwata. Ma'am.
Hey, Toshi. Yatsutokame. What are you doing here?
Wow! The meat melted on my tongue!
Splendid. I've never eaten meat that melts in your mouth.
This meat, you see, is from the highest grade Japanese Wagyu beef. It's completely different from most of the chewy beef Westerners normally enjoy.
Wagyu! This refers to an extremely high-grade breed of beef cattle that has been produced over many years by mixing Japanese and foreign cows together for high-quality beef production. Each and every Wagyu cow is named, and every bit of information on it, such as birthplace and birth date, is used to completely control its upbringing. The result is this magnificently marbled Wagyu beef.
The meat ranges from a pink to a fresh red, with thin strata of white fat spreading all through it. The texture is amazingly creamy. On the tongue, it almost melts away after a few seconds, like butter on a frying pan. It truly is a mystery. I can't tell if I'm eating very fatty meat or very meaty fat. Wagyu has a lot of zealous fans in the West, but to be honest, my preference is for a much chewier cut of meat.
Still, the red of the meat and the white of the fat, it really does look like marble.
Yes, in Japan they refer to this type of marbling as sushi. It's one vital element that determines how good or bad it is.
How do they raise it to get all of this sashi in the beef?
I've only heard stories, but apparently Japanese cattle are spoiled to an almost absurd degree as they're raised.
What do you mean spoiled?
I've heard they're fed beer, have classical music played to them, and even get massages.
Maybe they put them in jacuzzis too.
Jacuzzis, huh? I wouldn't put it past the Japanese to do that.
Huh? Are you serious?
Have you forgotten how shocked we were when we saw a Japanese toilet for the first time? It opened when people approached and then gave your backside a good sprinkling.
Michael, we're eating.
For the Japanese, who'd invent a toilet like that, it's not too big a stretch for them to spoil a cow so thoroughly. According to a book I read, by diligently massaging the cow, it causes the fat to spread to every part of the meat and results in a clean marbling.
Huh. That seems like it's a lie.
A massage to produce this beautiful sushi. I think I'd very much like to try that for myself.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Wouldn't you like to try massaging one just once to feel the cow's body?
Not really.
Ah, you want to as well.
I just said it!
Everything is a learning experience. We're off to Mie Prefecture to give some cows a massage.
Mie Prefecture, lying 400 kilometers west of Tokyo, on the eastern side of the Kii Peninsula, Japan's largest. Bounded by mountains and ocean, it's a prefecture of rich natural splendor, boasting both the Grand Shrine at Ise and the Kamado Kodo pilgrimage route. It is known as an ancient center of faith. However, the city of Matsusaka, which is located at the prefecture center, is famous for producing the luxury Matsusaka Aoshi brand of beef.
There are times when you just want to go off and do something stupid, but need something stupid be inherently meaningless? No, not at all. Because even if it's meaningless, it may carry great meaning for you later in life. Am I wrong?
Is that another way of saying it's too late to back out of this now?
Did you find a farm that would let you massage a cow?
I just got my 10th reply email telling me I can't.
Can you really blame them? Oh, how sweet. Where are you going with your family?
Oh, well, we're going to go to Matsusaka to rub a cow.
Oh, is that so?
I don't believe it. They all turned me down.
Farms are busy places. You can't expect them to just let some strange foreign journalist in to start interviewing them.
There are still other farms in the area. If I go all in and beg them, surely they wouldn't refuse a family who brought 2 small kids with them. Go on, Emil. Practice your most winning smile.
Can you not use our children as props, please?
I don't see any other way if my dream is to come true and I'm to massage a cow.
It's a cow!
There's a cow. There's a cow.
A cow! My name is Michael Booth.
Hi, I'm Hanako.
Madam, would you by any chance fancy a massage?
Oh, by all means.
Hey! What are you doing to my Hanako?
I'm Michael Booth, and I'm here to I'm a journalist and I'm here to investigate Japanese food culture. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of...
So now he doesn't mention the massage part.
He must have learned that by now. The way it feels like cream cheese on the tongue. It's mildness.
Quit your yakking. We're busy here. I ain't got time for this.
Huh? Then, I'd like to help you.
Huh? Thank you, sir. Real curious about this, huh?
Well, As a journalist, you study your subject by going to the real scene and getting experience.
Study, huh? My husband says that all the time, too, you know? Like yesterday, he got all "I'm studying" in my face when he went to stay over with his other farming buddies. He left me all alone with the cows to do all his work. They may say they're having a study group, but you and I both know where they are and what they're doing.
I think I know what you mean.
We're what's called a fattening farm. What we do is buy these little old calves that have been raised to around 10 months or so, then raise them till they're big and plump and ready to go to market.
Fascinating. Do you mean that these calves are raised elsewhere?
Right, there are places which both raise and fatten them, but here we buy and raise these here Hyogo calves, you see.
Wow, they're really drinking beer.
Is it true that the magnificent sashi, which is characteristic of Wagyu beef, comes from your spoiling the cows as you raise them?
Huh? What are you talking about? I don't do this to spoil them.
Huh?
You see, when these here cattle lose their appetite, it's called kuido mari. And when that happens, well, we feed them beer, and that restores their appetite back to their full function.
So, feeding them beer and the meat's tenderness...
Have nothing to do with each other. First of all, not everybody feeds them beer. The feed they're given varies by combination and specification according to the farmer.
I see.
To end up with a nice sashi, what's most important?
Is massage?
It's the feed. And every farm has its very own combination of feed and their own way of feeding. And you're gonna change that to match your cow's growth. While the cows are growing, we give them a vitamin-enriched, nutritionally balanced diet. Once they've matured, after about 14 months, we stop feeding them vitamins. And after that, we just give them rice straw for fiber and a high-energy formula feed to fatten these little fellers up.
You don't just feed them lard to fatten them up, then?
It does seem strange that eating grass and straw makes lots of fat, doesn't it? There's one other vital thing in all this.
Massage?
It's called affection. This is Asuka, and this is Emiko.
Asuka and Emiko?
Each cow is given a name, and each one has a unique face and personality. Well, these two just arrived last week. They're still only 10 months old. We don't send them to market till they're over 30 months old. And so, for 2 years, we have to raise each and every one of them.
It's more like raising children than fattening them.
Well, you would know, wouldn't you? It's a whole lot of work.
Yes, and massage.
What is it with you? Why do you keep going on and on about massages? All right, you, what are you up to? What did you actually come here for?
You see,
Massage the cows? You came all the way out here to do that?
I realize it's a bit ridiculous, but...
Fine, follow me. You can rub their bodies or their udders or whatever you please, you weirdo.
What? I can?
Here, have at it then.
Huh? With this?
I know they call it a massage, but you're not doing it to another human. Just doing it gently by hand doesn't have the same effect.
All right, then.
Whoa now, not like that. You're doing it too hard. She's a young girl, so be gentle.
You just said massaging her gently doesn't have the same effect.
What?
Sorry, never mind. Gently does it. Gently, gently. How do you like it, madame?
Yes, that feels very nice.
That looks so fun! I want to do it too!
Oh. Are you two all right? Nobody hurt?
Yeah, I'm okay. They can wash off at that tap over there. Do you have a change of clothes?
Yes, I do.
Gently.
Shouldn't you be giving your wife a hand? Men are all the same.
I'm part of the process. With each brush, the fat spreads among the meat, producing that marble-like speckling of fat through the beef.
Don't tell me you think massage has an effect on a meat sashi, do you? Listen to me, a massage has no direct effect on the fat whatsoever.
Huh?
The cows like being massaged, my gosh. Massage relaxes them, so they eat more feed. I don't know where in the world you picked up all these crazy notions, but shouldn't a journalist not just accept every single rumor he hears?
Well, it did sound a bit suspicious to me.
I suppose there may be some farm out there that believes all that stuff about massage and the rest. Did that feel good, Aniko? She's nearly ready for the market. You go through a lot of effort to raise them. That's part of the affection you have for the cows. The details might change from farm to farm, but I think the affection is the one element that never does. See that? Your wife's having some trouble. You should go help her.
In the end, it seemed that beer and massage weren't the secret keys to that magnificent beef. This interview had begun with a silly, meaningless idea. But, as a result, I'd come closer to the truth behind Wagyu beef and its sashi. I still had a lot to learn.
Hi there. It's Michael's friend Toshi. Massages are nice and all, but I want to eat some meat. And the best way to savor Wagyu beef has to be as yakiniku. Charbroil it all around and the smiles will overflow. Here to instruct us on how to properly grill the meat is this man.
Hi there, Toshi. Nice to meet you.
This is Shintaro Tanabe, the self-proclaimed meat meister. He's a real man of courage who spends 80% of his income on eating meat. His day job is producing music. Still, why the tuxedo for making yakiniku?
Well, the fattiness of Wagyu beef comes from its exceptionally fine marbling. If I might be so bold, marbled meat of that caliber is a national treasure, and so you shouldn't eat such delicious beef without being in an appropriately serious mode.
What? That's the reason he's dressed this way? Now I'm a little worried. But time to pull myself together and press on. Now Meat Meister Tanabe will lecture us on the proper method for grilling meat. First off, we have kalabi, a bone rib cut from the rib section. Look at this marvelous marble-like sashi. It's so lovely I could fall in love with it. Mr. Tanabe, how would you cook this meat?
Please, listen to it carefully. Can't you hear how this meat is speaking to me?
The meat is speaking to you. What kind of nonsense is that?
Notice the edge. When it's bubbling like this, it tells me, I'm cooking now, I'm cooking.
Aha! You turn it when you hear the sound of fat melting. It's like a signal. Listening is vital when grilling meat.
That's right. This is a conversation with the meat. If you concentrate hard enough, I'm sure you can do it.
Moving on, we come to the cut with a chewy texture, the popular tongue, or beef tongue. So, how do you grill thinly sliced beef tongue?
With beef tongue sliced this thin, if you cook both sides, it'll overcook, not taste very good. Oh, so you should just cook on one side over high heat, and it'll be fabulous.
What about the other side?
The carry-over heat cooks it just fine. That's why it isn't necessary.
No! It's great! The flavor is very deep despite the dish's simplicity.
Isn't it? The star of the show today is this soy sauce.
Soy sauce! A liquid flavoring brewed from soybeans, wheat, salts, kojimo, and yeast. And used in baking, frying, boiling, and pickling. Not to mention as a seasoning at the table. It's a condiment no Japanese person would ever do without. A vital ingredient called the king of seasonings.
It has a mellow but rich body, and yet despite that, it doesn't get in the way of an ingredient's flavor. It actually brings out the faint aroma of the wheat in udon. It's said that soy sauce has its roots in hishio from ancient China.
Hishio?
It refers to the food or flavoring made through fermentation when meat or fish is pickled with salt.
Udon.
It has a long history after that. It's said that the spread of a liquid flavoring similar to current soy sauce began in the 16th century. It was exported in the 17th century, and it's said that it was used to season food in the court of Louis XIV.
Udon.
After the Second World War, they started to mass-produce soy sauce, and that led to an explosion of soy sauce use in the United States and in Europe. Nowadays, you can see it everywhere you go in the world.
Udon. It's true. I've seen Japanese soy sauce in the supermarkets in London.
Mass-producing tasty soy sauce and then spreading it across the world was a true global culinary innovation, but that's not all there is to it. In Japan, there are as many local soy sauce makers as there are wineries in France. It's said there are as many as 1,500 of them.
Udon.
And those makers obsessing over their ingredients and procedures spend their days ruthlessly pursuing their own unique flavors.
Udon.
It says soy sauce.
This building seems to have a strange power to it.
It was originally a samurai's residence and has a 300-year history. Actually, it's now a soy sauce brewery that's run by the samurai's descendants.
Huh? Samurai?
If you don't behave yourself, I might even put your hair in a top knot.
No way, I don't want that.
Hello! A big welcome to all of you.
I am Kikuno Shin Koda, current head of the Koda clan.
Please come and trickle him. Now, inside with you. Go on, go on.
He's really the descendant of samurai.
I think so.
Please take your time and observe all you can. Now then, Kamakichi-san, if you would be so kind.
As you wish. Now then, everyone, this way, please.
Forgive me. You came on a day when we're giving a general tour as well.
You have a variety of soy sauces, I see.
The color and aroma of soy sauce can vary according to its preparation and manufacture, as well as its basic ingredients and their proportion. Among the most popular are light soy sauce and dark soy sauce. Since the color and aroma of light soy sauce are restrained, it's often used in the preparation of assorted and simmered foods. This type of soy sauce is favored in the Kansai region. Dark soy sauce is even more popular and accounts for 80% of the soy sauce produced in Japan. This is a very common soy sauce that you'll find stocked in any home.
What's this?
Oh my, you really know your soy sauce. I call it
Samurai Premium.
It's a new product I'm looking to start selling. 10,000 each.
10,000?
This is a very exclusive product, aged 10 years. 1,000 yen per year, so it's cheap if you think about it.
Normally you'd age it 6 months to a year. Even double-matured soy sauce is aged for 2 years, right?
We don't exactly do what other people do, big guy. What determines the soy sauce's flavor depends firstly on how you make koji. To begin, we add a starter mold to a mix of steamed soybeans and wheat that's been roasted and crushed. That is then stored in a warm, humid place. As the koji mold cells feed on the nutrients, they bud, and after 3 days of growth, they become fungal filaments and form koji. After that, salt water is then added to make what we call moromi. Here is this year's moromi. This is last year's. This is 5 years old. Hey, would you like to see the 10-year-old stuff? We have it in there.
What? No way. I'm kind of scared to.
Oh, this room. It's alive, you know.
Alive?
It's full of invisible living microorganisms started by the lactobacilli and yeast. On these wooden casks, on the walls, on the posts. Countless microorganisms have lent themselves to the brewing process for generation after generation. That's what gives our soy sauce its unique flavor. This room really is our life. This is paddling. By mixing it this way, oxygen is introduced into it, expediting the fermentation process while releasing built-up gas, making it a vital operation. As it's mixed over and over, you could say that you have a conversation with the moromi. Once the aging process is complete, the moromi is wrapped in cloth. Once this is done, the soy sauce can slowly filter through the cloth. After that, we slowly apply pressure and wring out the soy sauce. After that, it's pasteurized. The raw soy sauce is heated, arresting the fermentation process. Then, it's complete.
I'm amazed you're using 200-year-old casks to make this. Not to mention the time you take to age the moromi. It's that dedication to tradition that I love about Japanese artisans. It's wonderful.
Except, you can't slavishly hold on to tradition.
What?
Because there are so many other well-established soy sauce brewers out there, the world of soy sauce manufacturing isn't an easy one. Do you know what it takes to survive?
What do you mean?
Always keep fighting back.
With soy sauce for ice cream! This is a soy sauce that we make here. Rather than just follow tradition, my methods have produced a soy sauce like no other. And here is the result.
It's not bad.
From the looks on your faces, you see that soy sauce can also be used for sweets. For soy sauce chocolate, caramel, candies, donuts, waffles.
It's enough to make a candy maker embarrassed.
Mommy, this samurai stuff is actually really
It's enough to make any candy maker embarrassed.
And now, if you'll all come this way, please.
What's wrong?
Okay, everybody. Coming up is the Moromi aging room. Before we go in, please put on these hats and leather boots.
Hello. Pardon me 1 second, folks.
So it's you.
Nato?
Yes, it was brought in with that tour group. He'd sealed it in an airtight container to hide the smell, but our company's president's nose can't be fooled so easily. It was probably from a rival company, an assassin.
Assassin?
What do you mean?
Natto is fermented soybeans, and the bacteria is very strong. Much stronger than koji mold cells or yeast cells, so they have a major effect on the brewing process.
You're correct. It would mean losing our lives. The flavor that we've inherited from generations of brewers before us. Making soy sauce is war.
Who sent you? It'll be easier for you if you just talk. As a final treat, please eat this. This is the very best way to enjoy the flavor of my Samurai Premium.
No, thank you. I couldn't eat a raw egg. And we just had ice cream before.
Enough. Eat it.
Yes, sir.
Really?
If you don't want yours, let me have it.
Hold on!
It's good.
It was so good, in fact, that I bought 2 bottles of that 10,000 yen soy sauce on the spot. Kikurin had the blood of a samurai, and was a savvy salesman to boot.
Thank you very much.
This is Michael's friend Toshi. He sure seemed to be moved by having soy sauce over rice. But if you talk about soy sauce on rice, this is what I think of. Soy sauce senbei, a traditional baked rice cracker treat flavored with soy sauce. If you like the unique flavor and aroma of soy sauce, then senbei crackers are the best. Why, you ask? Because the usage of soy sauce seasoning is unique. Why don't we take a look at that today? Today we're visiting a senbei factory in Niigata. Oh, what's with the truck here? Amazingly, inside these tanks is soy sauce. This factory can apparently use over 3,000 liters of soy sauce a day. So, how do you get that much soy sauce inside? Ah, you deliver it via hose. Oh, and who's this lovely lady? This is Murata-san, who will be giving us a tour today. She works here as a new product designer. Now then, soy sauce. To the soy sauce.
This is the entrance to the factory.
Oh, we start by vacuuming off any dust. And then an air shower on top of that? There's a lot of preparation involved, huh? But hygiene management is important. Finally, the manufacturing process. Or, so I thought, the first more doors to go through. Ah, is this it?
For the first stop on our tour, I will show you these senbei crackers.
Here we see the process of introducing air into steamed rice as it's needed. Then the dough is stretched into these half-moon-shaped strips. Then they're cut. What are they doing, trying to turn it all back into grains of rice? Still, it cuts them at a satisfying pace, don't you think? It cuts 1,500 pieces every second. Now they're baked. These are kakino tane crackers. They look like seeds from persimmons, and that's where they got the name. And now the heart of the matter. Soy sauce tare. So, what kind of soy sauce is used to season kakino tare?
Just as you'd expect of something you think of as a bar snack, we use a soy sauce with a strong umami, aroma, and a bit of spiciness.
Could you...
And lying very close to China, Southeast Asia, and Oceania, it's known as Japan's Southern Gateway. This region, made up of islands of varying sizes and boasting both beautiful ocean surroundings and a subtropical climate, is best known as Japan's leading southern resort and is a tourist destination for not only Japanese, but for visitors from all over the world.
Well, I must say, this is nothing like the image I had of Japan.
Okinawa was once the independent kingdom of Ryukyu, and so they have developed their own unique culture of music, dance, and handicrafts, so it tends to have a lot of differences from the other regions in the country. However, we didn't come here to sightsee.
What did we come here for?
To gain long life!
Long life?
Exactly. Okinawa is the prefecture with the greatest longevity in Japan, the nation with the greatest longevity in the world. In short, this region boasts the longest living people on Earth.
Wow!
Or it used to.
Used to?
Unfortunately, while it used to be number one, the average lifespan in Okinawa has been dropping of late. One theory is that as Western foods become more prevalent, they're eating foods higher in fat and cholesterol, which is leading to increased rates of disease.
Then there was no point in coming here.
That's not true. The Okinawan view of food being as important as medicine in maintaining one's health was picked up from China, since it was still the kingdom of Ryukyu. In Okinawa, foods that are healthy for you are called kusuimun, which means things that heal. Amongst the kusuimun, foods like soups are called shinjimun. Think of them as brewed things. Research has shown that traditional Okinawan cuisine is excellent for promoting long life, which means Okinawan cuisine is my best chance at finding immortality. Come on, let's see what longevity tastes like on our tongues. So this is the long life Okinawan cuisine?
What's that?
This is Goya champuru. It's a stir-fry of sliced Goya, which is a type of bitter melon, along with meat, other vegetables, and tofu. A typical Okinawan dish. That's the stuff!
Pizza! What is this?
Isn't it great? Don't you know the saying that the best medicine is always bitter?
Cold medicine tastes better than this stuff. I wish I could eat something else to live a long time.
What's that?
That's irabu soup, basically. It's a soup made from sea snakes.
What? Sea snake?
I'll pass on that too.
Don't make that face. This is shinjimun, food that's good for your health. That's the stuff! I can feel it. These Okinawan ingredients raised naturally. The power they conceal is flowing into me with each bite. I can feel my life extending. Again, this mysterious stomachache.
You just overate. Michael, there's nothing wrong with trying to live longer, but considering you've brought your family to this lovely southern island, why don't we just try to enjoy it like normal people?
Listen, can't you see it? Moment by moment, old age is creeping up on me. You can't get away from me.
You're being dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic. I know my body better than anyone. Even now, I can feel it. My knees hurt, and I'm afraid to stand up.
Maybe lose some weight.
The secret to long life lies in Okinawan cuisine. I believe it, but I can't find the definitive evidence. What is it about Okinawa that is so special? What is the difference in the diet from the other regions of Japan? Isn't this so bad?
In that case, why don't you just find a really old person and ask them directly what their secret long life is?
Oh.
Huh?
That's it!
Daddy, you can't breathe!
Looks to be over 80. A good sample. However... What is that? That's a typical high-fat, high-calorie meal.
Maybe long life has nothing to do with what you eat.
No, I can't believe that. That hamburger must contain some special ingredient that's conducive to long life. I'm going to go interview her.
I hope she isn't startled by having some stranger talking to her.
It'll be fine. I'm a journalist, remember?
Wow! He's like the most super suspicious looking foreigner ever!
This is your daddy's job after all.
Oh, he's coming back!
So,
She's eating the special today. A teriyaki burger with triple cheese, egg, thick slices of bacon, and lots of mayonnaise.
Yeesh! It's an orgy of calories and cholesterol.
And she's 98 years old.
Wow!
In addition, she first fell in love at the age of 13 and is secretly in love with someone even now.
What? You sure asked a lot of personal questions in such a short time.
I'm kind of impressed.
The amazing thing is that she drives herself here once a week so that she can eat that.
Her stomach and legs both seem to be in better shape than yours.
Anyway, let's get going. We mustn't keep our elders waiting.
Huh? Go where?
To the village where Sato-san lives.
What?
I guess Okinawan cars last a long time too.
My, how lucky we are you could get us a lift. What a coincidence. We are heading in the same direction. Ha 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 ha. She told me before that in her village, an 80-year-old is still considered to be a child. It isn't uncommon for people there to live over 100 years. I'm sure her village must hide some sort of amazing secret.
Can't you just ask her straight out what the secret is?
I did, but she won't get to the point.
Huh? Say, old lady, how exactly do I live as long and healthy as you have?
Makatusoke. Nankuru naisa.
Nankuru?
See, I never heard those words before.
The tire came off!
Now what do we do? What do we do at a time like this? I'm running out of time!
Nankuru naisa.
Again with that!
Hold it. What if those words are the secret to long life?
Nankuru naisa. Nankuru
I
naisa.
still don't understand.
Nankuru naisa.
Nankuru naisa.
Nankuru naisa.
Nankuru... Ah. The Nankuru-nizer. Nankuru naisa. The true secret to your long life is some secret machine, isn't it? All the mysteries are solved. It's in your village, isn't it? Will you shine it on me too? Will you Nankunize me?
Daddy!
Don't play dumb. Please tell me, where is the machine?
Michael, calm down. Huh? What's that?
What on earth is...
Kajimaya.
Kajimaya! The Okinawan word for pinwheel, and a traditional custom to celebrate long life. In Okinawa, when someone reaches 97, they're thought to return to childhood. And so, on the 7th day of the 9th month by the old Japanese lunar calendar, villages present the elderly with pinwheels and have a grand parade and celebration.
Returns to childhood? It must be the initiation to rejuvenation. In other words, the Kajimaya must possess the Nankunizer. Nankuru-naisa!
Michael! Daddy!
Wait! Please, give me the Nankunizer too!
My village.
Ah.
Somehow I now understand why the people live so long here.
Yeah. Someday, at the end of my life, it wouldn't be so bad to spend my final days in a place like this with you.
Oh, weren't you just terrified at the thought of the years passing by?
Huh? After that, Sato-san told us a lot of things. About her day-to-day life, about her family, about the war. Makoto soke nankuru naisa is an Okinawan phrase that means something like, do the right thing, do what comes naturally, and someday a good day will come to you. Maybe there is no single secret to living forever, but I think I have a better idea of why the Okinawans live so long.
This is Michael's friend Toshi. I wanted to know what Michael felt from the old lady. But our director Sue was so interested in going down to Okinawa that I gave in. Sue's subject is a town called Okini. It's on the northern part of the main island of Okinawa, known as Longevity Village.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, welcome.
This is Ms. Misako Miyagi, who just turned 85 this year. Sue recorded an entire day in her life. Recording begins at 7 a.m.
Good morning. I'm looking forward to this.
Misako is in the kitchen making breakfast.
Let's start with miso soup.
What kind are you making today?
I think I'll make it with tofu and what's called handama.
Did you grow that?
Yeah, I grew it myself.
Handama is an Okinawan island vegetable, and it's long been eaten as kusuimu, a food with healing properties. Next, an omelet, flavored only with Okinawan salt.
Now I'll make Goya champuru.
Ah, Goya, the representative for kusuimu foods. Still, isn't she going a little overboard with the garnishes?
I make a lot every morning.
And then she adds chicken to it. Meat first thing in the morning. She's 85, right?
If I don't add some meat or fish to the vegetables, it's just not complete.
It's not complete with only vegetables. She eats like a young student. 7:30 a.m.
Do you always eat this much?
Oh yes, I eat hearty in the morning. That way I can work till evening without getting tired.
By work, she means in the fields. Still, this granny has quite an appetite. 8:30 a.m. A change of clothes and she sets off for a friend's house.
Good morning. Good morning.
The other old ladies in the neighborhood show up. They assemble every morning to drink coffee in their girls' club.
Cheers.
So what topic has them so worked up? I honestly can't understand a word of it.
There! We've set our feet free from the constraints of their shoes. This is one of the joys of the Onsen Inn.
We take shoes off so we can put other ones on.
That's weird.
Hold it! When entering the room, take off your slippers and your socks as well.
Huh? We just put them on and now I have to take them off again?
Going barefoot feels great. It also preserves the tatami mats. Yet another joy of the Onsen Inn.
It's a pain is what it is.
Oh, what a lovely view. Michael, I'm so glad we came here. Huh?
Well, does it suit me?
Wonderful. It looks really good on you.
It's a type of kimono called a yukata. The yukata are provided by the inn. They are thin and feel very comfortable. They're meant to be used as both a dressing gown for when you get out of the baths, as well as for sleeping, but you can also just walk around in them.
It certainly does look liberating to wear.
Doesn't it? Once you put this on, you're all set for the onsen.
But I don't know how to put it on.
Here, let me help you with that.
It's such a pain. Can't I just wear my t-shirt?
No way. Where do you think you are right now? This is an onsen. Slippers and yukata are indispensable elements of the joy of the onsen. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's an onsen! Forget your daily troubles! Set your mind and body free! Because this place is made for pure relaxation!
Well, that's a bit much.
He's kind of overdoing it.
The rules of the onsen are 1.
Relax.
2.
Relax.
3.
Relax.
We will now proceed to the bath. It's a large communal bath meant to be used with the other guests. Everyone strictly adhere to the rules.
Yes, sir.
I will now explain the towel provided. The small towel is to be used in the bath. Clean your bodies. Wipe away sweat. If necessary, you may also use it to cover any important bits.
Yes, sir.
I cannot stress enough. Do not soak the towel in the tub. Not unless you want people pointing at your backs and calling you an ignorant foreigner. Any questions? Listen.
I don't have a swimsuit.
What do you mean?
I just said I don't have a swimsuit to wear into the bath.
Did I not mention you use the towel to cover any important bits? What are the rules of the onsen? What is our objective?
Relax.
And what does the characteristically tight binding of a swimsuit promise of the ability to do?
Relax.
In a Japanese onsen, you enter completely naked. In this country, they have a phrase, the naked fellowship. You join others as naked as you are in the bath, talking together without regard for status or position. Only in a bath is such communication possible, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. We must be willing to experience this naked fellowship for ourselves.
I never should have come here.
Men, women.
I have to go in by myself.
If you're going to blame anything, blame biology. Good luck in there.
I may not be coming back.
Good luck, Mum.
If this turns into a childhood trauma, can I hold you responsible?
Asker, relax.
I'm going on ahead.
So good.
An open-air bath. This is the best. Surrounded by nature in one's birthday suit. No wonder the Japanese are so crazy for this.
Is Mum on the other side of that?
I think so. She looked like the world was ending. I wonder if she's okay by herself.
Maybe I should call her.
Hey, you okay? Listen. Listen!
Amazing! Can you believe it? There's nobody over here. I'm alone. I've never experienced this kind of luxury. Right now, the world belongs to me. I am free!
What's Mum doing over there?
Letting go of 100 days of stress from the sound of it.
The night breeze feels nice. They said that bath is open 24 hours a day.
As long as the Earth's magma holds out.
I'm glad we came here.
Looks like our trip's almost over,
Yeah.
Wow.
It looks delicious.
This is our inn special, the crab course.
Crab.
What's wrong with Daddy?
Remember how he passed up eating that crab in Hokkaido? So every night he yells and wakes me out of a sound sleep.
Oh, so good.
Looks like you'll finally start letting me sleep again.
This soup's good.
Well, that's due to the synergistic effect of the umami of the kombu and the bonito flakes. The minced yuzu also lends it to fresh flavour.
You said it, Asker. I haven't heard you begging for pizza lately. Could it be you've adapted to this environment?
Oh, no, I just completely gave up. It's the duty of the child to put up with the selfishness of the parent. Right, Emil?
Tomorrow we return to Tokyo, stay over one last night, and then we leave Japan. You've put up with a lot, and so I'll take you anywhere you want to go.
Really?
And the ban on pizza and hamburgers is lifted as well.
Are you sure? Is there no more research to do?
My scheduled research list is completely cleared. Nothing left for me to regret. I have more than enough material for the book.
You'll really take us anywhere we want?
Sure, anywhere at all.
Even a mouse theme park?
Someplace besides that.
But you said anywhere!
That place isn't for me. I know. There's a restaurant that's just been making the news in Shinjuku that was just awarded its 2nd star. That would be better than waiting 3 hours to ride a gondola in some childish park.
Emil, cry.
All right, we'll go.
We did it! Yay!
Excuse me.
Sit down, you two. The food's here.
What do you even know about Japanese cuisine, huh? A big fatty like you, who eats nothing but food swamped in cream and butter.
And there's no need to be personal.
I know all about Japanese cuisine. Japanese cuisine is food utterly divorced from life's pleasures.
Oh.
It's all appearances and no flavor. Everything's drenched in soy sauce, so it all tastes the same. Raw fish, noodles, and fried vegetables. Besides that, it's all stolen from other places. Thailand, China, and Portugal. With a good fishmonger and a sharp knife, anyone can make Japanese food. Onizuka. Never heard of him. What is this?
A book that will teach you about all of life's pleasures.
Huh?
It's a present. Be sure to read it.
Oh.
See ya.
Huh? Huh? Toshi? Toshi!
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Toshi! We're at a lovely onsen in a mountain gorge, setting our souls free. The inn served us an excellent meal with a number of lip-smacking dishes, and while the rest of my family are sound asleep, I'm alone on the veranda enjoying the full moon in the night breeze.
What's with the long explanation?
Just trying to get the jump on you. Each and every time you call me, you've somehow guessed my every move, so it feels good to do it for you once. So what can I do for you?
Your trip will be over soon.
Yes, that's quite correct.
You're going home the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I see. Well, I'll meet you on the day you depart.
Huh?
A beautiful solitary smokestack reaching up into the blue sky. When you talk about the pleasures of bathing, there are onsen resorts and sentos like this one, marked by the smokestack. This is the real stuff here, a public bath found throughout Japan. Today I'm going to the traditional Japanese sento, which can be compared to the onsen. Hello.
Hi there, welcome.
Here's the owner, sitting at a beautifully carved station. The one in charge can sit on lookout, keeping an eye on the bathhouse. What's great about this place is how high the ceiling is. Look at that wonderful lattice. It has refinement, don't you think? This place apparently has over 50 years of history behind it. Okay, shall we go in? The first thing to catch our eye is a wonderful mural of Mount Fuji that takes up an entire wall. Fuji, blue skies, and the water's edge. This combination is the best. The pine and cherry trees on the lake's edge are a nice accent. Some say that, in the old days, you could actually see Fuji from here. Using the bath while looking at this makes for an exceptional experience. Oh, it's heavenly. Oh, they got their legs stretched out. It looks like you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it feels great. There's a refinement to it. It's like
It feels like something out of Japan's past, like something from the good old days.
Nothing better than a sento to relax. Now you understand what Michael said about relaxing in a big tub. It sets your soul free! Out of the bath at a sento, that's where the fun begins. First of all, the old scale. Measured by needle for that wonderful old analog feel. So, mister, how is it today? A new best weight?
In winter, I weigh 70